What was Steph able to do today? I know you just did individual stuff today, but what's kind of where he's at?
He's doing individual stuff right now as we speak. He's been doing individual court stuff the last few days. So, he continues to get his work in, and there's not really an update beyond what Raymond just put out there.
Do you know yet on practice tomorrow? The update kind of said maybe this week at some point.
Yeah, it's literally day to day. So tomorrow we'll meet with the team and go through our strategy, our game plan, practice in the afternoon, and then each day we'll just determine where Steph is as far as how much he'll be able to do.
You mentioned that probably for the whole team kind of needs a scrimmage this week because it's such a long break. Is it Thursday probably?
Thursday we'd scrimmage, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
This question isn't fully fledged out, so bear with me while I try and get it out. But like with Steph, would there be a certain time where you say, let's say by Thursday, by Friday, if he's not where you want him to be, then say, no, you're not going to play on Saturday in game one? Or like, is that something where you guys would be comfortable? Okay, even if you only have like one practice under your belt, because of your conditioning and how much and just who you are, we feel comfortable having you play in game one?
Oh, those are all, good observations and fair questions. And I would say it's just not an easy answer. I think each day will determine where he is and what he can do the following day, and at the end of the week we'll determine whether he's ready or not. So within that, it's hard to predict much.
How essential do you think it is that Steph does get a scrimmage before he returns?
It's essential. Like, we're not going to play him without getting a scrimmage. The whole team will need a scrimmage, given that we generally play every other day, and all of a sudden we have 6 days between games. That's pretty unique. So everybody will need a scrimmage, but it would be irresponsible to put Steph out there in a playoff game without having scrimmage time before.
And with the uncertainty with Steph, how does that lead to some uncertainty for Jordan Poole? Will he start? Will he not start? Or when Steph comes back, what is his role? Do you see sort of a trickle-down effect for Jordan?
Yeah, there's no uncertainty. Jordan's going to play. He's been one of our best players, and he can play with Steph. He can play when Steph is on the bench. He's done all of that this year and done a great job of it.
How much is Steph still participating in the mental preparation for the postseason when it comes to the younger players, like helping them know what to expect, since this is the first time around for a lot of them?
Yeah, that's a big part of his role as one of the captains and mentors on this team. He'll play a huge role in that regard. Tomorrow will be the first day that we meet and go over game planning, and a big part of game planning is messaging about what the playoffs are really about, and how you have to approach things and handle them. And we've got a lot of young guys, so we'll be counting on guys like Steph and Draymond and Andre and Clay to really kind of advise the younger players and get them ready mentally.
What are your early observations scouting Denver and what this series might look like?
Well, they've had an incredible year, under the circumstances with the injuries that they've had. Mike's done a great job with that team. Jokic is reigning MVP and obviously one of 2 or 3 favorites to win it this year. He's just a spectacular player, and everything they do revolves around him. So we had some interesting games against them this year, and they beat us 3 out of 4. But each game was so different based on availability. Draymond didn't play in any of the 4, which hurt us. They came back in the one game at Chase when we controlled the game. I think the last game or the third game we played was the makeup game. So all of our regulars were sitting for the most part, other than Loon. And then the last game, they were exhausted. Maybe that was the makeup game. I can't remember which one was which.
The first one was the makeup.
First one was a makeup. Second one was a regularly scheduled game, but it was like their 4th and 5 nights. And I felt like they ran out of gas in the fourth quarter. So, given everything with all the absences and the irregularities of some of the games, it's hard to get a great read on matchups and exactly how things will play out. But there's a lot to learn from those games, and so we've watched all of them. We'll even go back to a couple of last year's games and take a look at some things, and that'll help us determine how we want to play.
What's the balance or the challenge of deciding to single team Jokic and not overhelp because of the way he can pass, but also not wanting to just single team Jokic?
Right. Yeah, I mean that's what makes him special. Is he's it's pick your poison. He can score one-on-one down on the block. Brilliant passer. Biggest thing that I think for us is we can't give up the easy stuff. And you can see in the regular season there were plenty of back cuts for layups. We got to eliminate those. We can't have the wandering on the floor after a timeout and Jokic grabs the ball and throws a full court pass for a layup where we're not paying attention. And we're going to have to be really, really sharp because he's not only one of the best players in the league, he's one of the smartest, and he'll pick you apart if you're not aware and on guard.
Let's go to Zoom.
Mark Medina on Zoom.
There you go.
Thanks for the shout out. Good to see you, Steve. On that note about picking your poison with Jokic, would you consider him more dangerous as a scorer or more dangerous as a passer? How do you look at that?
Yes.
Good answer.
He's dangerous in every regard. No matter how you play him, he's got an answer for you. And so that's why the key really becomes, taking away the easy stuff, which is, I know that's sort of just an easy phrase to throw out there, and we preach it all year long. But when you watch our regular season games, we gave up easy stuff. And part of it is that and when you're not used to playing against Jokic, you think you're in position defensively, but you're not. You're even with your guy off the ball. He's whizzing that thing right by your ear for a layup. Any other center in the league is probably not even making that pass. So this is a big series for us in terms of understanding where those easy buckets are coming for them and how we can negate them. So obviously that means taking care of the ball, not giving them transition layups and threes, the back cuts that we talked about. Too much fouling. I think we gave them 41 free throws in the last matchup that we had, or the third game maybe it was. So there's a lot to unpack, but that's what makes the playoffs fun. You get to zero in on a team, and your players have to understand the game plan, and then the game plan has to evolve and adapt as the series unwinds based on whatever happens. So it's a really fun time of year for the coaches and for the players, and it's time to really get locked in.
All right, Monty Poole, go ahead.
Steve, when you guys signed Andre, one of the things that you guys made clear, and he did sort of too, is that this was primarily to get him for the postseason. And I just wonder how do you feel about where he is after the physical challenges he's had, and since he came back? What's your sense about where his game is and how he feels right now?
Well, it was great having him the last couple of weeks. He's kind of played our backup point role with Steph out. He gets us organized. He gets us settled. He protects defensive possessions by covering up mistakes and keeps the possession going where, otherwise it might end up in a layup or a foul. He finds a way to blow it up and allow us to keep playing. So Andre's brilliant. We're obviously hoping he can stay healthy, and we'll count on him for a couple of good runs each half, and excited to have him.
The other question I had is, how important is it for you guys? Excuse me. How important is pace for you guys in this series?
Yeah, we'd like to get out and run, and Denver likes to get out and run too. So pace is important, but it's the context within that term that's important. Pace is great as long as you're getting back in transition and not giving up easy ones to them. And I'm sure Mike would say the same thing. And in Denver's behalf, the playoffs are all about negating easy baskets, easy points, and transition can lead to a lot of easy ones, but you got to have your head on straight to go down that path. It can't just become a pickup game. You got to be rock solid.
All right, let's go two more. Jason Dumas, go ahead.
Hey, Steve. 2019 feels like a decade ago with everything that's transpired in between that. How excited are you, obviously, to coach it, but also for the fan base to get to see eventually Steph, Clay, Dre, and Draymond together on the court again in a playoff situation?
It's been a long time, It feels great to be back in this position. Be the first playoff game at Chase, which is exciting, and potentially getting everyone healthy is really tantalizing. We've persevered this year through a lot of adversity, a lot of injuries and absences, and if we could get Steph back healthy and keep Andre on the floor, it would be the first time all year that we'll have kind of our main guys all healthy at the same time, and that's exciting because I think that means our ceiling is higher than what we've shown so far.
All right, last one. Let's go to Mark Haynes.
Hey, Steve. You got a lot of young guys and players that this is their first trip into the playoffs. What kind of message do you give them to try to keep them calm and collective headed into game one?
Turn off your phones. Don't listen to the media. Get your ticket requests in now. Have somebody handle that. It's important. It's really important this time of year to really lock in on your job and keep things as simple as possible. And that's easier said than done. It's just there's a lot of attention, a lot of hype, a lot of focus, and you just can't get wrapped up in the judgment and the criticism that's coming because we're all under the spotlight, and we have a job to do, and it's just us. We got to compete together and collaborate and figure out how to win a game, how to win a series, and keep moving forward and try to just keep the focus on us.